All right, welcome back. I'm so excited, you guys. I am so excited because this is the foundational stuff that everyone misses. Like, let me tell you, when I say everyone, here's what I mean. My company has applied to over 50,000 speaking opportunities for, I don't know, a couple of hundred clients at any rate at this point. And I can tell you, even at the pro level, people miss the things you're learning here. I guarantee it. So with the personal brand that we just covered, I hope you're excited about that. I hope you've gone and done some writing and some thinking and understand too that it's something that you kind of got to work into position, right? It seldom just comes at the first kind of attempt. So be gentle with yourself, but be relentless with yourself too, and really get this stuff. Because I can't emphasize this enough. Having the things you're going to learn here is like having better tires on your car. If you've ever gone from old bald tires to brand new tires, it changes everything. You have more traction. You're able to go where you're trying to go better, right? So, great analogy. Now we're going to talk about the Irresistible talk title. Now, how important is this? Well, let me break something down for you. The way that you will get most of your speaking opportunities, the vast majority of them, is through filling out applications and networking, and you're going to have to do work. Or you can have us do it for you. That's another conversation. That's not for this bookable speaker, but that's something we can talk about later. But even if you have us do it for you, the strength of your talk title is crucial. And here's why. Close your eyes with me and imagine you're a meeting planner. Imagine you're hosting an event. Imagine you're putting on a conference. Imagine you're in charge of finding the speaker for an association. It doesn't matter which of those you are in this fantasy example, you've got a big to-do list. If you've ever put together an event, you know it is a massive, it's just a checklist of things, right? And so what they do, meeting planners, event coordinators, decision makers for associations, basically anybody who holds the key to whether you get on stage or not understands what I'm about to say. These people are typically overworked, underpaid, and believe it or not, they don't necessarily feel tremendously respected. And so what we want to do with our talk title is actually speak right to them. This is something most people don't think about. We want to speak right to the event producer, the meeting planner, whoever the decision maker is. And when we do that, our goal above all else is to make them feel secure in hiring us. Okay, that's the secret. Here's what happens. You are the event planner. You get a huge brief to put your event together. You get to the point where it's time to put out a call for speakers. You put out the call for speakers. Depending on the size of your event, depending on its prestige, you're going to get anywhere from, I would say, 100 submissions from prospective speakers, people who want to speak at your event, to 500 or 1,000. The volume is huge, okay? And so think about this. You put out a call for speakers one day, a week later, you look at it and you've got 500 people who want to speak, and you've only got 3 speaking slots. You see where I'm going with this? And so what do? Here's what they do. This is really important. They scan first. They do not open up every single request and read it through like you might think and wish and hope. They scan first. They scan first and they get rid of everything that doesn't match their quick analysis. This is why your talk title is so important. So if you make it past that first ruthless cut, then they go in and they look at just whatever they see in the top of each application. So that's where your talk title needs to be, right? So now they've gone through basically 2 quick scans to reduce the number of potential speakers that they might hire. Are you with me so far? Do you see how competitive it is? Okay, good. So Once you get down to, you've made the first cut, which is like your email subject line, really, which needs to be related to your talk title. We can get into that later. But the talk title needs to be what I call sticky. It needs to be appealing. It needs to speak right to that event coordinator, meeting planner, whatever it is, that decision maker. It needs to speak right to them, and it's got to do it quickly. And so here's where most people make the mistake. When they're creating their talk title, they're either thinking about the audience, which is understandable, but it's a mistake, or, I hate to say it, they're thinking about, let me show how great I am. And that is a huge mistake. Okay, so with your talk title, number one, you make it as short as humanly possible. For the title of your talk, 2 sentences is not acceptable. There's an old copywriting and marketing axiom from David Ogilvy, the guy who, if you don't know, the TV show Mad Men was sort of inspired by him. He's an old Madison Avenue ad man, and he wrote some of the best copy in the world. And by best copy, I mean the most persuasive words that did the heavy lifting to sell people things. The guy knows what he's talking about. He said, if you can't say it in 7 words, go back to the office, go back to the drawing board until you can. So I want you to think about that. You do not necessarily have to make your talk title 7 words, but the point he was making is the less you give us to think about, the better it is. And the more emotional and value-packed what you show us is, the better it is. So step 1, it needs to be as short and concise as possible. Step 2, it needs to be benefit-driven. Now, this is really, really hard for people. This is a really tough one. So if I ask you what you talk about and you start talking about the mechanics of your talk, well, I speak about this to these people for this reason, and here's my experience that validates why I say these things, you've already lost the plot. If I ask you what you talk about, you need to be prepared with 1, 2, maybe 3 things that benefit me. Yeah, okay. Things that benefit me, not you, but me. This is crucial. So how do we do this? Well, now that we have all of this AI tools, I think we're in a much better position. So could you just go straight to your AI buddy, whoever it is? Maybe it's ChatGPT, maybe it's Grok, I don't know. Could you go straight to them and say, write me a short, punchy talk title that appeals to the meeting planner themselves and lets them know why I'm a safe bet and is going to be sticky and sexy and resonant? You could. Here's what happens most of the time. Most of the time, you're not quite going to get there strictly by relying on AI. You've heard it a million times already. AI can do a lot of things, but it has no soul. It cannot really tell the difference between something that seems to match your request and something that really has an emotional resonance to it, right? The emotional resonance can be thought of as like, if you walk up to a lake and you throw a rock in the lake, the ripples ripple out. That's emotional resonance. That's what your talk title has to do. So it's got to be emotionally resonant. So what I suggest, first and foremost, you write it yourself, and then you have your AI help you clean it up. Now, included in this program, I'm going to give you a couple of different prompts, because really the truth about AI, especially for writing, is you don't get out things that are better than the quality of what you put in. So I'm going to provide you with a couple of prompts that should really help clean up what you write. Okay, I really want to stress that. You need to sit down and write this first. There's just a way in which The characteristics of purely AI written material don't yet, they may one day, but they don't yet match. There's something about a human writing it first. Okay. So gonna give you those talk title prompts. You're gonna have them. You have them now. But what I want you to really understand is it's got to land. It's got to hit hard. Okay. It's got to be impactful. And you have to make sure you're thinking about speaking to the decision maker, because one of the biggest mistakes in judgment that speakers make is selling what they do to the audience, selling this transformation for the audience. And what they don't understand is that until you convince the decision maker that you're a safe bet for them, they don't care what you claim to do for the audience. And do you know why that is? Here's why. Everyone, all 500 of those applicants are saying the same thing about how great they treat the audience, right? So it's just noise. Do you understand that? This is what I call a subtle but critical distinction. You don't want to be one of 500 applicants who are just blah, blah, blah about how great you treat the audience. You want to be the smart one who's putting the event coordinator's mind at ease, because they live and die. You may not know this, but they live and die by how well they do each event. That's their job. It makes sense, right? So you sit down and you write a 1-sentence, really, really benefit heavy description of your talk. You try your hardest to make that description, a benefit driven description, speak to the decision maker themselves. And then you run it through the prompts that I'm going to give you. Now, some of you, because I know people, some of you are going to just think to yourselves, I'll just run the prompt through ChatGPT. Okay, you can do that. The person who is in this program who did it the way I'm suggesting will beat you. They will beat you. So it's up to you. But that's my suggestion. First, let's actually back up. First of all, you have to have the talk title. It's got to be short, sweet, sticky, sexy. Second, it's got to speak emotionally to the decision maker to let them know you're safe to hire. Third, it must be driven by benefit, not features. Nobody cares about your 7-point slide. I can't stress this enough. Nobody cares about your 7-point slide. Nobody cares about any of that stuff. They want benefit, benefit, benefit. What's in it for them? Okay? So get to writing and then take what you've written and use the prompts I'm going to provide, and you will come up with great talk titles. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.